Hey, what's up you guys, Lemon Collects here, back in with another review. This time it's going to be the Venompool builder figure, so I can't wait, let's get into this. So yeah, it's been a pretty strong wave. I'll do the whole wave review later on in the video, but first I'm going to show you building this figure. So yeah, let's get into this. First of all, I'm going to attach these swords to the back. As you can see, there is a sort of pattern in there which matches the pattern on the back, so these should clip on. I imagine this is going to be quite difficult, so I will probably have to do this off camera. There you go, it was quite difficult because you got to line everything up and then really push it in tightly, but there we have them attached. Next I'm going to do the legs, so I'm just going to plug that in there. Again, this is really difficult. Is that in? There we go, got that one in. Next leg. There we go, that one's in, but also just want to mention that in terms of like individual pieces, all of these pieces are very bulky, so they're very heavy, except for the torso because it's all hollow, so the torso does sound and feel pretty, you know, cheapish, but again, these are very strong, like heavy pieces. So next I'm going to attach the arm. Is that the right arm? Yep, so you're going to plug that in there like that. That in right, I think that's in right. There we go. I'm going to plug this arm in like that. There we go. I apologise for the audio and also the video if this is not looking great. It is quite difficult to do on camera. I didn't hit record on the rest of the building of the figure, and I'm not going to take it all apart again, so sorry. It was just, you know, plug the head in. You know, this is the only bit that differs from a normal builder figure basically. The rest of it is just pretty normal. So here I have the figure all built and looking really nice. This is a big bulky figure, very top heavy, but does have some pretty thick legs. This is actually quite rare, but it comes with it comes with accessories in terms of extra hands, which, if you know, is not that common on builder figures. It happens sometimes, but it's not as common as we'd like. Yeah, and as you can probably tell by these hands and the look behind, this figure has this really nice sculpted texturing all over it, which is obviously supposed to be the Deadpool's suit, and I think it does look really nice, as you can hear. I'll do it up close to my mic. It is really like nicely sculpted in, and yeah, I think it does look nice. Looking at these hands, I wish the nails were painted. It wouldn't be the end of the world on these hands, but on these ones, it definitely would have been really nice to have those nails painted black. Yeah, I believe this is based on a character from the Contest of Champions game, if I'm remembering that correctly. So yeah, that's why this was based off of, but I believe he probably would have black fingernails in that game anyway, but that wasn't really the point. But yeah, looking at this figure, I'm really liking it. On first looks, this head sculpt is going to, again, we get that nice texture. It looks really nice. Got a massive purple tongue coming out. I do like that nice purple on that sort of, not sure what kind of red you'd call it, but this sort of combination does look really well. Looks really nice. These teeth, all of these teeth are painted really well on mine, and I'm like really liking that. The mouth sort of purple and underneath, and yeah, the sort of yellowy teeth. And yeah, I do think this head sculpt looks really nice. Looking at those eyes, the Deadpool. I do like these. All of these are painted, which is really nice all over the figure. They're all painted, these silver stitches, I guess, to keep the suit. So I guess as you can see down here, there's this sort of gap. It's a sort of, as you can see, it sort of lowers. So I'm guessing the black bits of Deadpool's suit are Venom, and then the red bits are Deadpool's suit stitched onto Venom, if you know what I mean. Like, not actually like Venom, but Venompool Venom. It's just sort of this big black, I guess, Venom, very similar to Venom with smaller eyes, but he has the suit stitched on over it. As you can see, there's a big sort of dip. It's kind of hard to show on camera, but there is a dip between black and red, which I think clearly is supposed to show that the suit is not actually part of the symbiote, but the symbiote is kind of has the suit stapled onto him. If that makes sense. And yeah, I do think that looks really nice and works really well. So yeah, moving closer, we see more of that stitching around there. The sort of metal staple sort of stitching down all over the chest. As I said before, you got that sort of drop down down here onto the legs. We get it as well. We get the black stapled on, following the classic Deadpool patterns. We get the same sculpting detail all the way around. On the ankles, we do get these sort of shackles with a sort of chain piece there and there. They're molded in different places, which is quite nice. Then we get these nice Deadpool sort of feet with the black bit coming up the top. And then let's go into closer. We do get these buckles, the same sort of shackle buckle things around the wrists as well, which is slightly annoying because it does hinder the articulation a little bit. But I do think they look nice. Again, sculpted slightly differently, I think. They might be the same anyway. Then we get this holster, not really holster, but it looks like a holster, but it's really just a pouch around the leg, and it is, I think, removable, as these things do slide about. So I guess you could put it on the other leg if you wanted, or something like that on a different figure. And yeah, it's nice painted detail on the straps there. Moving on to this whole belt section, we do have the nice Deadpool logo on the belt with all the pouches. Then it goes up with this nice looking buckle there, painted silver sort of pad, and then another buckle up there. Round to the back, you get this big sheath with the two swords in it, and it is a sealed sheath, which is quite nice. Around the back, we do have the first bit that annoys me. As you can see here, clearly I think the suit's supposed to be stretched and it would be black underneath here, but it's not painted. That is a bit on my nerves. I really wish that was painted, but I mean, it's not the end of the world, is it? It's still a really nice figure anyway. And we also get the classic flappy bit of his mask that we see on every Deadpool. Well, not every Deadpool, but you know, classic Deadpool figures. So yeah, these swords are other accessories. So I mentioned that when I said about the hands. Those aren't the only accessories. We do get these nice big swords, and I do really like these. You get the black handles, and the stitching isn't painted, but not really that much of an issue. We get these really soft shields on there, and they do look quite nice. I don't think they're removable, but they do look nice. A little design on there. And then these actual blades themselves, I do really like. As you can see, they are supposed to look very weathered and sort of dented, and I do really like how that has come out. It does look really cool and very realistic. I'm a really big fan of how they've done that. And yeah, they just sheathed into there. I might have gotten the wrong way around. Yeah, that one sheaths into there. That one sheaths into there. Well, I'm not sure it matters. I think it's actually upside down or whatever. But yeah, anyway, that is all the detail on the figure. Overall, like I was trying to say, this black is just very plain black, but it is sort of Venom, you know, classic Venom black, I guess you'd call it. So obviously this is from a game, so there's not too much history behind it as far as I'm aware. But yeah, as I can imagine, it's just Venom with Deadpool suit stapled on it, which as a concept I do really like. Obviously I wish they had painted the nails. I'm probably going on quite a long time, so I'll move on to the hands now. As I said before, it does come with interchangeable hands. So you just pop this one out. It does not want to come out. I have to do it off the camera because it is quite difficult, but you can pop it out, and these do remove if you like. So then you can have him without them if you prefer that look. Obviously I don't, the other one looks better, but you can attach his sword holding hand, I believe is the correct term, as it does have the other way hinge, and it does, I believe, have R in there to tell you. It might be on here somewhere, but yeah, that is R. So you just want to plug that in. I'm going to do it off camera again. So yeah, there you go, you get the sword holding hand on there. And yeah, as I said before, they did reverse the hinges. As you can see, this one hinges that way, but this one hinges side to side, as they do on some sword or gun hands. But like I said before, the articulation is very hindered by this big shackle part. So I mean, they didn't necessarily need to do it. Yeah, you just take the sword out and slot it in there. Again, everything on this figure is a bit sort of a struggle because it's a massive figure, and this is obviously it's very new as well. You know, hasn't had it very long, hasn't had time to wear in. But yeah, here he is holding the sword, and I do think that does look really cool. Nice big sword in his hand, as you can see. That does size pretty well with the figure, and I do like the way that looks. Maybe it would have been nice to have a gun as well because he's Deadpool, but you know, I used to play Contest of Champions. I never played this character, so I'm not sure if he had a gun in that game, as I believe that's what it's based off of. But yeah, still really nice to have the swords and everything. Again, they do bend here, so you have to be quite careful, and you also want to be careful that you don't damage the paint on the sword when you take it in and out of the hands. But yeah, it is quite stiff, like I said before. So in terms of articulation, the head moves back that far, forwards that far, which is, you know, pretty decent range of movement, and it does pop off quite easily. It does swivel round all the way. You just want to make sure you don't catch that time and snap it off or bend it. Arms go up about that high, without chewing the plastic or anything. You do get a bicep swivel there, and you get a single jointed elbow, as is fairly common on these massive build figures. And like I said before, you get the wrist swivel, and then you do get the hinge, which is hindered by those buckles. And with the sword holding hand, you do get it the other way, but again hindered by those buckles, so it's quite hard to see. But it does, there you go, work a bit. And then you move on to the main midsection. You do get the waist swivel, but it will sort of be hindered by this, I guess you could call it like a strap around this chest, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that will be hindered by that. I'm not sure if you move this up, if you can get it to work. There we go. If you move it up, you can get it to work if you lift the belt up, but yeah, then it doesn't look as good up here, so you want to move that down after you've moved the thing. Anyway, ab crunches forward that far. That was a very scary noise. Okay, by the way, that ab crunch is very loud, so be careful, because it does sound like I've broken my figure, but I believe that is the ab crunch. Yeah, I think that's just the ab crunch. That did actually make my heart drop then when I heard that, but yeah, anyway, yeah, be careful, clearly. And it goes backwards that far. Again, clicks quite a lot, but you do want to be careful of paint rubbish, as you can see there. So down to the legs, there you go. Out that far, kick forward that far, backwards that far. You get the thigh swivel, you get a double jointed knee, you get the no boot rotation, but we do get the ankle pivot, as well as hinging there we go, back that far and forward that far. I'm not hinged by the buckle down here because it is quite much higher than it is on the wrist. As on the wrist, you can't really move it up, but you obviously can down here. Yeah, so the articulation is pretty good. Yeah, can't really expect much better from a massive figure like this. So yeah, overall I'm fairly pleased with it. So yeah, overall I do really like this figure, design, everything. It should be fun, although probably quite difficult to pose it around. It's going to be difficult to get on a flight stand. When I say difficult, I mean impossible, as my heavyweight flight stands all broke, even though they were quite expensive. But yeah, it should be nice to pose around with the characters. So yeah, let's get into the comparisons. First of all, just put them next to the Retro Collection Spider-Man, because you know why not. They scale pretty well. And now compared to this Venom, as you can see, I think they do work pretty well together. They are very similar scale, and I do think that works as a good sort of, you know, they're both the same sort of thing. I do really like that. So here is next to some of my other big sort of ish figures. We have the Builder figure Abomination, which, you know, these compared to are nice. Abomination is a little bit bigger than this figure, you know, in terms of bulk. His arms are slightly wider than his, but legs are bulkier, the chest is bulkier, and he's taller, so this is a bigger figure. Also the Hulk figure here, and then the two Thanoses, they're obviously puny compared to, well, he's taller, but they are sort of, you know, thinner, sort of weaker than the massive Venompool figure, which I do like. I do really like the fact they've made his arms really buff, so he's sort of very, you know, strong, massive, terrifying to anyone that didn't know the character. Next here is next to another Deadpool figure. We have the, I'm not sure what the official name of this figure, it's just, you know, the X-Men sort of costume Deadpool, as I'm a bit lacking in the Deadpool department, even though he is one of my favourite characters. But again, all those sort of Deadpool figures are from a while back, and you know, they've gone up in price, and I work in the supermarket, so obviously I can't afford to go and spend 200 quid on a figure. But yeah, these two compare. I've done this whole review and only just realised that my mic wasn't plugged in properly. It was sort of half hanging out. So the whole review will be on my phone audio, as I do record my videos on my 12 Pro, so I do have a 4K 60 frames per second camera, although I do my videos in 30 frames per second. But yeah, it is a, It's a really good camera, but it's on a phone, so the mic is not great, which is why I used a plug-in mic. But like I said, it wasn't plugged in all the way, so that is going to sound not great for the whole video. Really sorry about that, but I really do not have time to re-record the entire video, because I've been doing it for about an hour. So overall, this wave has been, pretty interesting. I have liked this wave compared to the, was it the last wave I did? No, one of the previous waves I did, the Abomination wave. Now the builder figure for Abomination was really nice. The rest of the wave, I do prefer the rest of this wave. I'm trying to think of the last builder figure wave I did. I think it was the Demogoblin wave, and I do prefer this wave. This has been a really nice wave to get. We have, the Carnage, which is an amazing figure, and then the Phage, which is, it's up there. It was a really good figure, but it obviously does have some issues, like I've mentioned, especially with the colours. But yeah, I do really like it as having a new symbiote. The Venomized Miles and Gwen are pretty nice, really nice additions to the collection, and the Morbius, nice addition to the collection, even though it isn't symbiote. They didn't go full symbiote wave, as we did with the Morbius. And then the actual final builder figure of Venompool is really nice. Really excited for that figure, and I'm really glad how it came out. And I do think the concept and the sort of look of it does really work well, and I'm really glad they did do that, because you didn't really have to do this. But I mentioned that the red sort of dips down and then it goes to black to show that the red bit is sort of material that's stapled onto the symbiote. I really do like that. It sort of gives more realism to the characters. A symbiote wouldn't actually have the sort of red material on him, would it? I think about that. Carnage is red, but it's not material. It's not the material texture, everything like that. So it is really nice to just think Venom, Wade Wilson, Deadpool, has had this symbiote and just stapled his costume. I do think that's a really cool idea, and I think it was executed really well in figure form. So yeah, overall the wave, I'm going to pick least favourite to favourite in just a second. So bottom of the list, least favourite. I'm thinking of these on the spot, by the way, ish. But yeah, it's probably going to be Morbius. To be honest, I wasn't hoping for a Morbius in my collection. I'm not a huge fan of the character. Haven't read a lot of Morbius comics. The movie is coming out, but hasn't come out yet, and it's obviously not a movie version. So yeah, it is a nice figure though, and it is a nice version of the character. Next is the Ghost Spider Venomized Spider-Gwen figure. It's a pretty good figure. I like the design, but sort of the execution, some parts of it, like the hood messing up the head articulation, and the long tongue, getting in the way, being too long, even though you can do some cool poses wrapping the tongue around stuff. But yeah, I do. It is a nice figure, but it has to be someone on the list. Somewhere has to have that spot, even though it is a really nice design. So then obviously in third place, or not third, 1, 2, 3, in fourth place is the Miles Morales Venomized figure. I do really like this figure. Obviously I did have some problems with it, mainly the sort of the whole symbiote design in the middle of it doesn't sort of feel that. It doesn't have any of the symbiote sculpted patterns on it. But yeah, overall I really do like that. They added the hands and feet. I really like how they're much bigger, and they've got really symbiote features, as well as the head I like. And I do think it is a good sort of design for a Miles Morales symbiote figure. So that is very cool. Next is going to have to be Phage. I do really like that figure. Again, the paint did disappoint me, as I told you before. The torso has a different colour gold to the rest of it, as you can probably see there. But what you can't see there is one of the things I do really like about it, is that we do actually get a symbiote accessory on this figure, as we do get an interchangeable weapon. And I do think that's something missing from a lot of symbiote figures like Venom and Carnage figures, is that sort of symbiote weapon they can form out of their hands and stuff. And yeah, I do wish more figures had that. So in second place, it's between Venompool and Carnage, as you probably know. But the second place is going to go to Venompool. It's an amazing figure, really nice builder figure. Builder figures do tend to take a pretty high or first usually spots on my list, because obviously, you know, it's such a nice thing to have a massive figure, like with Abomination. But I do think Carnage wins out, as I'll explain in a minute. But yeah, Venompool is a really nice figure, as I've explained throughout this whole video. But it does come in second because it is beaten out by this amazing Carnage figure. It's such a nice figure, not just from this wave, but in all Marvel Legends. All the sculpted detail is amazing. They've taken these hands and they've added so much detail to them in terms of adding all this sculpted black all over them. The tendrils coming out of the back and the sides do look really nice. And the head sculpts we get, I really like this head sculpt. Definitely love this head sculpt. This one is also nice too, but I definitely prefer this one. And yeah, this does take the #1 spot, as I just really love this figure. It's perfect figure / Marvel Legend version of Carnage. So yeah, I'm really happy with that figure, and it is my favourite of the wave. But yeah, overall I do really like all these figures, but yeah, that Carnage does just take the first spot. So I just want to talk a bit about the channel. Obviously I've been away for a while. I just took some time away from making videos. I've been very busy, but you know, I'm back into it. I'm just pumping them out whenever I get a free minute. I'm just, you know, filming more at once, because it just makes it easier for me. Hopefully it doesn't make the quality reduce at all. But yeah, so future of the channel is very exciting. I've got the Disney Plus wave coming soon, but first, because I mean I should do the Disney Plus wave because it's older, but I'm just so excited for the what's it called, Infinity Saga figures. I've got the Iron Man and Thanos Iron Man Mark 85 2-pack, which is an amazing 2-pack, and I can't wait to get it open. I've had it for a few days now, probably about a week now, and I just keep looking at it. Another one I can't stop looking at, I've had since Sunday. It's Tuesday now, by the way. It's the Surtur. Yep, I got the Surtur. I'm so happy. I cannot wait to open that figure. It is huge and it is amazing. So we've got those two Infinity Sagas. I'm probably gonna get the Thor and some others. But away from Infinity Saga, some other figures. I have got the MODOK, which is, you know, really excited to open that. I cannot wait. I can't even look at that one yet because, you know, I haven't opened it and it doesn't have the window box. So I'm really excited to get that out. And then the Red Skull, which I thought was good because I do have the Hydra Soldier Army builders. I have a few of them, so I thought I'd get that Red Skull. So I'll probably review those 1, 2, 3, 4 sort of sets. Well, they're not individual figures. Some of them are, but some of them aren't. But yeah, review those next, and then I'll get on to the Disney Plus wave, just because I am so excited for these figures and they are fairly recent. So yeah, I do really want to get those opened up before I do the Disney Plus wave. But the Disney Plus wave will be coming next. If you don't know what I'm on about, the Disney Plus wave is the builder figure Captain America Sam Wilson, with, you know, all the characters from the Disney Plus shows. Not the What If wave, as that isn't out yet. I have got some of them pre-ordered. I pre-ordered the Peggy Carter to arrive on October 2nd, and I will probably pre-order the rest of the wave soon. The No Way Home wave I'm quite excited for. I pre-ordered the Miles Morales from the Gameverse Miles Morales, because that is probably my favourite game of all time, that Spider-Man game. And the other figures I'll wait on and get the rest of that wave. Maybe if I miss out on the pre-orders, because I can't pre-order everything, as I, you know, I've not made the money. I work in a supermarket, but yeah, I will probably try and get those pre-ordered. If not, I'll have them a little bit later, but I will still get all of them reviewed. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for watching. Please share and grow my channel so I can, you know, actually start, you know, focusing, you know, much more of my time and effort on this channel. I'll have the waves, you know, first out of anyone in the UK to be the reviewers. Yeah, so please share, please like, subscribe, and yeah, I do work really hard on these videos, so that would be really helpful. Yeah, I feel like I'm sort of begging, but, you know, please. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Now I've got all the reviews done, I just have to do photography for all of these figures.